Well, hello, and happy Friday to everybody. I want to welcome everyone to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart. Today we are looking at toxic killer shrimp. That's a question mark, but there's a reason for me placing it that way. Because I want to know, did you know that the shrimp was toxic? Did you have any idea? Did you have a clue? I don't think a lot of people did that eat shrimp. I think a lot of people probably just went out there and made a purchase and decided it was going to be something good and, high in fat, high in all the good stuff, minus, of course, any mercury. But I think a lot of people just thought that they were going to be able to go to the store, get themselves some shrimp, have a nice little shrimp cocktail, or make themselves an item and eat it with their family. Maybe they've been stuck it on a few skewers and put it inside on the grill, right outside on the grill. Maybe some people did that. Maybe you did. I want to welcome everyone before we even get started to the three folks who have already logged in. It looks like we've got two of our super mods, Sarah, as well as a bird chirps. Thank you for being here. Carrie Richardson, welcome to you as well. So we are looking today specifically at a few things. Now, I did have our original thumbnail up there, but then I decided to pull it down because I don't think a lot of people would understand what I was talking about. So I moved it. I'll replace it. But I just decided to show you a bag of shrimp, right? And when I decided to show you that bag of shrimp, I made sure that I have some other information to bring you, a lot of other information to bring you. But let's first start with our opening monologue, and then we'll get right into some of the video that I want you to see. First things first. Now, I know that you guys know that there are a lot of tariffs that are out there. And the United States is currently hitting Indonesia with some of the heaviest tariffs in history. Earlier this year, President Trump slapped about a 32% tariff on their exports. Later, he did negotiate it down to 19%. But if you do the math, that's over $5 billion a year in extra costs on goods they send to us. Why? Well, because Washington says that Indonesia does not pay its fair share in trade. They don't play fair at all in trade. And yet, while we're taxing their products to the ceiling, we're still trusting Indonesia. We're trusting them to feed us. Think about that. Billions in tariffs on one hand, and on the other hand, shrimp from Indonesia shows up in Walmart freezers here in America, testing positive for cesium-137, which is an radioactive isotope. Come on, somebody. I want you to tell me how that makes sense. Can you make it make sense? Well, let's just put everything into perspective. August 2025, where we stand right now, the FDA announced an expanding recall of frozen shrimp after traces of cesium-137, which is a radioactive isotope, was detected in shipments from Indonesia. The shrimp came from the PT Bahari Makbar Sajati, which is a processor in Banten province. And it was sold in the United States under major labels, including Walmart's Great Value brand. The key levels detected were around 68 becquerels per kilogram, far below the government's action threshold of 1,200. Now, officials stressed that the shrimp did not pose any immediate threat to human health, but that is not the point. Cesium-137 should never be in our food supply at any level. And the very fact that it was detected raises deeper questions about what's happening upstream. Now, let me tell you why this is important for me to tell you. Listen, we need to rewind a few years ago, because in 2020, listen carefully, that very same Indonesian province of Banten made international headlines when a radioactive hotspot was discovered in a residential neighborhood called Batan. Radiation surveys uncovered cesium 137 buried near a volleyball court with readings hundreds of times above natural background levels. Investigators eventually concluded that the source came from improperly discarded nuclear material, an orphan source, deliberately dumped by a former worker from an agency. He was an agency employee. Now, what did crews do there in Indonesia? They moved quickly to remove the contaminated soil and vegetation, packing away more than 80 barrels of radioactive waste. Within months, the regulators declared it clean. But here's the thing: cesium 137 has a half life of 30 years. So you can scrape away the topsoil, you can barrel up the vegetation, but the isotope itself doesn't simply disappear. It binds to soil, it seeps downward, and it lingers. What looks safe today may not stay safe tomorrow because radioactive contamination doesn't respect surface cleanups or government timelines. So when we place the 2020 incident next to this 2025 recall, we see a troubling pattern, or at least I do, which is the reason why I decided to dig a little deeper and bring this to you. Now, there was a province with a documented cesium 137 dumping problem just 5 years ago, and it is now at the center of an American food recall for the very same isotope. Maybe it is a coincidence. Maybe it's a cross-contamination in shipping containers. Maybe it's something more. But for consumers, it is deja vu because time after time, Americans are told to eat first. And only after the fact, we're told to worry. We see the same story with lettuce, baby formula, and even with pet food. And now with shrimp. The recalls don't come until after the products have already made it into our freezers and onto our plates. And that leaves us with a bigger question. If the United States knew a country had unresolved radiation issues, then if we knew cesium 137 had already turned up in their soil, why would we allow the food into our systems in the first place? Why do we keep opening the door to tainted imports while other countries close their door to our exports because they don't trust America's food safety? That's the part that I just can't seem to shake. They won't take our snacks, and they shouldn't. They won't take our beverages, and they shouldn't. They don't take anything even our meat, they don't take. While you guys are here in the chat, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you are watching this in the replay, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up, and please make sure that you give us a comment. So the question is, why would we allow this? Why? Because that's a question that deserves an answer. Let me give you some bullet points because I'm going to show you a couple of articles that were from Indonesia. And there was a set of police that went into Indonesia, and they went to try to figure out exactly what was going on. And they investigated the radioactive hotspot that was found there in February of 2020. And they did discover the radioactive materials, including the cesium 137. And get this, depleted uranium at the home of the Tangerine president. The Banten is south of that Banten province, the Tangerine Baton province. And for those of you who may be from that area, I apologize for badgering the name, but it looks like Tangerine to me. Now, officials said that this individual was a former employee of the Indonesia's nuclear agency who had improperly kept or dumped the material at his home. And rather than a reactor leak, the investigators did conclude that this was a deliberate or neglecting dumping, a possession that this gentleman had of nuclear material at his residence. I don't get it. I don't get it. But we did take the food in. We did. We took it in. And in tandem with us taking it in, it also was out in California, where the one location is there in, I think it's in a part of Los Angeles. But that particular area of California, they sent it out to several states, including Alabama. They sent it to Arizona, all the way to Massachusetts. It went. Meanwhile, the United States president basically calls it the Liberation Day of tariffs when he hit Indonesia exports with that high rate of 32%. Of course, again, as we said, it did go down to 19%. But at what point did he think that they were going to play fair? If he already said they don't play fair in trade, what would provoke him to think that they play fair with sending us the food? Okay, so we are punishing them with billions in tariffs, but we're still trusting them to give us some food. Oh boy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this. The California-based, just for those of you who may be like me, a little curious, the California-based Southwind Foods Company pulled back multiple brands. They pulled back their Sandbar, and I'm saying the name so that you can check in your freezer just in case you're a shrimp eater. Sandbar, Arctic Shore, Best Yet, Great American, First Street are the names of the company. So after their shrimp was shipped into 9 states, including Alabama, Massachusetts, to California itself, this is not a minor recall. It's huge because this stuff is already around freezers in the country. I'm going to show you an article or a video that came from ABC or CBS. I think it's ABC News, but I want you to see this because I found it quite curious that what was being said was, hey, this isn't a problem. They pulled it before it got to Walmart. No, because Walmart did do a recall as well. All right, so let me let you go ahead and check this out. And then I'm going to show you something else because isn't it amazing that whenever you need some good information, you do find that the World Health Organization or the WEF decided that we're going to chime in on this, but this was years ago. So let's go into this and I'll show it to you. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Now to a recall of frozen shrimp sold at Walmart. People are being told to throw it away after shrimp in a shipment was found to be contaminated with radioactive material. Sam, you got the details.
Yeah, and George, radioactive material in food doesn't sound good. So we want to say right off the top that so far the FDA says it appears none of the potentially dangerous shrimp actually made it to Walmart stores. However, it was found in a shipment of uncooked frozen shrimp. So the agency is taking the step to recall more of the shrimp brand and warn the public. Now, the radioactive substance that we're talking about is called cesium-137, which is mostly found in places that have had nuclear testing or nuclear accidents. It has a half-life of about 30 years, which means we got a long time to think about it. And the FDA says it has found in a single shipment from a company in Indonesia. The level of radioactivity would not pose in the shrimp itself a health threat. But if you were to eat it repeatedly, repeated exposure to even low doses of cesium-137 could raise cancer risk. Now, Walmart sells the brand of frozen shrimp in 13 states under the brand name, and you can see them in red. Take a screenshot, or you can go to our website, abc.com, and we have these lot numbers for you. These are the numbers to look for. Best by date. Look out for the FDA. It says if you have a package of frozen shrimp with these numbers, throw it out immediately. If you think you may have eaten shrimp or been exposed, talk to your doctor immediately. The FDA says it is investigating the company and testing the products for any other potential problems. In the meantime, all products from that company are banned from entering this country.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, Sam, thanks very much. We also have a warning now from Home Depot to the warning customers.
Okay, you got to see that. I wanted to show you that one. All right, so you let me know what you think about that before we move on to the next one. Let me know what you think about what he just said, because what I just pulled was a lot of research. Took me the majority of the day to pull all that together. So he's saying that none of it ever made it to Walmart. None of it ever made it to Walmart. The California company, Southwind Foods LLC, is based in California, operated under the brand name Great American Seafood Imports. They were one of the firms named in the 2025 recall. Southwind handled the products under multiple labels, which I read to you already, which was Sandbar, Arctic Shores, Best Yet, Great American, and First Street. Here's how that shrimp got here. Here's the chain as laid out by the FDA and customs reports. Harvest processing in Indonesia. The shrimp in question was farm raised. That's telltale right there. Okay. White Vaname, a common export species. It was processed and packaged at the PT Bahari Makbar Sajadi, the BMS Foods in Banten province. They exported the food in the shipment containers and they sent it from Indonesia to the United States ports in Los Angeles, Houston, Miami, and Savannah, Georgia. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol ran a routine radiation scan at the ports and detected CS 137, which again is cesium 137 in some of the containers. It was distributed through the United States. All right. That's how it went through the United States. Some lots were flagged and blocked at the port, but other shipments had already entered through Southwind Foods in California and Walmart's Great Value supply chain. From there, they were distributed to retailers and wholesalers across at least 9 states and 13 states for Walmart Great Value shrimp. All right. In short, what BMS Foods in Indonesia processing and exported, they shipped it in the containers to us, and then we took it from the ports and imported it and distributed amongst the retailers that deal with that company as a whole. Tacky, real tacky. Yeah, it's tacky, but that's who we are. So the reason why I brought up the fact that there were tariffs put on them is because I know that President Trump was really, really rearing to get those tariffs rolling. So let's hear him talk about this. Let's hear a report where he's speaking about it. Let's do that. Okay.
Stella has them. Megan.
Hey, Kelly, so the president now posting on Truth Social a few more of these details of this top line trade framework with Indonesia. He says as part of the agreement, Indonesia is committed to purchasing $15 billion in U.S. energy, $4.5 billion in American agricultural products, and 50 jets from Boeing. Many of them, he says, will be 777s. He also goes on to say later that if there's any transshipment from a higher tariff country, that tariff will be added on to the tariff Indonesia is paying. As you can see, Boeing shares moving on this. Remember, Boeing was also part of the deal with the UK. So an interesting trend there. The top line, of course, Kelly, with this deal being 0% tariffs on anything the U.S. sells to Indonesia, but 19% tariffs on anything the U.S. buys from Indonesia. Now, I do want to caution, we have not yet gotten any sort of confirmation from the Indonesian government on this. The only reporting that I can find is that Reuters exchanged a text message with an Indonesian government official earlier today when the official said they're preparing a joint statement between the two countries that will explain the size of the reciprocal tariff, including the tariff deal, non-tariff, and commercial arrangements. So suggesting there will be commercial arrangements along these lines. But other than that, no confirmation from Indonesia. So we still have to wait to see that, as well as any formal paperwork putting this in motion. Kelly.
All right, Megan, thanks. Megan Casella.
All right. So we did get to hear about those tariffs and how it would affect them. I also want to bring to you a couple of articles that were published in 2020. I hope everybody's getting what we're saying. I hope we're really getting what we're saying. In 2020, in Indonesia, in the area that this food came from, they had a heck of a spill. And it wasn't 2 barrels, it wasn't 1 barrel, it was several barrels of their cleanup. But as the gentleman said, and I said in the opening statement or opening commentary today, that stuff has 30 years, that's half of the life, 30 years in the ground. Why would we, knowing that, take it? And how can I say we knew it? Well, because, Reuters even did a story on it back then. Can't find anything in a video of it. You can't find anything in a video, but what we can find is all of this printed material. So let's take a look at some of that, shall we? Yeah, let's take a look at that. Before I do, I want to see this man. Oh, no, I don't. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see that guy. All right. Here's one. I'll let you see this one from Reuters, if it allows me, without having me try to join them. This is the Indonesian authorities call for calm after radiation found at a housing complex near Jakarta. This was February 17th, 2020, right there. February 17th, 2020. All right. 5 years ago. A lot of stuff was going on in 2020. All right. So it just goes on to say that Jakarta, Reuters, Indonesia's nuclear authority said on Monday they would investigate the radioactive contamination of a patch of land in a housing complex outside Jakarta and called for calm. The Nuclear Energy Regulatory Agency, BAPTN, issued a statement on Friday telling the residents to stay away from a piece of land in Serpong, 43 kilometers south of Jakarta, because it was contaminated. Local media said the land is next to a volleyball court. Bapton said that it had discovered an elevated level of radioactive isotope, cesium 137, during a routine test for radioactivity in the area at the end of last month, which of course would have been January 2020, causing alarm among some locals and raising questions about its source. Radiation levels were 680 micro SV per hour when first discovered last month, which was January 2020, compared with a normal threshold of 0.03 micro SV per hour. Bapton spokesperson Abdul Kahor of Reuters told Reuters on Monday, quote, "We'll investigate the source of the contamination," is what he said. External exposure to large amounts of cesium 137 can cause burns, radiation sickness, and even death in some cases. It's also increased the risks of cancer. Right now, we're focused on the cleanup so that when residents do their activities, they're not exposed to extraordinary radiation, he says, adding that 9 residents would be examined for any radioactive exposure. Isn't that amazing? You see the number 9 here and the number 9 in the articles that we just did. Kohar said that radiation levels had fallen over the weekend because of Bapton's decontamination process, in which removing soil and cutting down plants. That's what it included. Bapton said that it has regularly been checking for the radioactive levels since 2013. So if you wanted to wonder what made them look then, well, there's the answer. They've been doing this for 7 years, 2013 to 2020. It was no big deal. So it looks like Jarot Salustio Winsabroto, a researcher at the National Nuclear Energy Agency, Banton said the impact should not be harmful to residents, and that levels had already fallen to 20 to 30 micro SV per hour. Indonesia does not have an active nuclear power industry, but a reactor used to research about 3 kilometers. They use it for research about 3 kilometers away from the site of where the contamination was. Now, there was another researcher in nuclear science at the University of Gautam Madha, and they said that he thought that it was unlikely contamination originated from the nearby reactor since it was regularly inspected. Quote, "Police should immediately investigate the party involved with the waste," he added, saying that it was possible that it originated from industrial use. Greenpeace Indonesia climate and energy campaigner Hindan Mulakia urged the nuclear agencies to conduct thorough investigations, saying, quote, "This incident is a bad precedent for the government and Indonesia Nuclear Energy Agency, which failed to maintain public safety from the dangers of radioactive waste," she said. All right, so that's what she said. That's what she said. But I still want to know why our country took the food in. Why did they take that food in? Doesn't make sense to me. Let's go ahead and listen to an article from here in the United States. We'll go ahead and listen to this, and then we'll be right back. I want to go ahead and I want to check this out from ABC News. Okay. There you go.
Thank you for joining us. Frozen shrimp sold at Walmart now under an FDA warning. The concern, a batch imported from Indonesia that tested positive for traces of radioactive material. Our Emily.D.Mann is here to tell you what you need to know about potentially dangerous shrimp.
That's right. The FDA says certain bags of Walmart's great value frozen shrimp were found to have radioactive elements that could pose a risk if eaten. Local shrimpers say this situation is exactly the reason they are fighting for fair representation.
Wait a minute. Didn't you guys hear the man that came on there with George Stephanopoulos say, oh, but Walmart pulled it. It never arrived at Walmart. That's why we have to be very thorough when we're doing investigations and pulling and connecting threads together. Let's continue.
Of their products here in the Low Country.
Shrimp coming in from Indonesia is really eye-opening and almost jaw-dropping to think that there's radioactive elements in shrimp that people believe is safe.
U.S. border inspectors caught shipments of shrimp from Indonesia with cesium-137. That's a radioactive material known to cause cancer, according to the CDC.
The fact that they found this one shipment with the radioactive elements is really troubling when you consider the fact that around 1% of the seafood coming in and frozen shrimp is inspected.
Now the FDA is asking people to throw out those specific lots with use-by dates of March 2027. They're also asking distributors and restaurants to do the same thing. Don't sell it and don't serve it.
I think a lot of our fight goes back to empowering folks with the ability to make the decision about local wild-caught shrimp versus imported shrimp. And the reason that's important is because there are concerns around health aspects and potential exposure.
This comes after South Carolina Shrimpers Association took legal action against area restaurants for allegedly serving imported shrimp while misrepresenting it as local catch. They say DNA testing found that 90% of the tested shrimp labeled as fresh local catch was actually foreign imported shrimp.
With this action by the FDA, it really goes to the idea that this isn't specific to the Low Country or South Carolina. It goes beyond that. And we want to safeguard, our food chain and our food supply to make sure that, we're not exposing ourselves to unnecessary risks.
Local shrimpers say the last thing they want is for consumers who believe they are eating local shrimp getting sick or potentially being exposed to foreign chemicals. The foreign shrimp came from an Indonesia-based company, BMS Foods, which the FDA has placed on a new import alert, effectively banning further imports of shrimp from Indonesia. Local shrimpers say their fight against foreign shrimp here in the Low Country is far from over. So far, they have settled with 8 of the 25 named restaurants, and 4 have filed motions to dismiss. We have more information on the ongoing Shrimpgate litigation on our website at abcnews4.com.
So you already know something that a lot of other people don't know. You already know that there was a situation in Indonesia in 2020 that contaminated the soil. And even though they cleaned up that soil, it still seeps down into the soil, and that it has a half-life of 30 years. You know that. Others don't know that. You know this. This is something that they're not talking about. I've just let you listen to 2 major stories, 2 major outlets. I'll let you listen to ABC and then just this last one that we just listened to. Did you hear anything about the situation in Indonesia from 2020? Did anybody? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard any of those news articles mention what went on in 2020 in Indonesia in that very same province. We're not talking about a province that's far, far away, folks. We're talking about that very province. Nobody said anything. What do you attribute that to? I don't know what it could be. So let's go on ahead and take a look at what happened when they located that gentleman. It was a South Tangerine resident who possessed the radioactive substances, and he offered decontamination services, is what the police said. Now, the Banten resident who allegedly kept radioactive substances in his house at the Banten Uda housing complex. It was literally a housing complex. Imagine your apartment complex. And if you don't, just imagine that you live in one. If you don't have an apartment, you just have a house. But just imagine it's in the house next door to you. It's in the location right next door. All right. Who allegedly kept the radioactive substances in his house at the Banten Uda housing complex did so for economic gain, the national police have said, and had been engaging in business involving radioactive substances. The National Police spokesperson, Esep Adi Sapruta, said that the man, a National Nuclear Energy Agency employee, this is what this cat dealt with on a daily basis. This is what he did for a living. All right? Let's keep that in mind. This is not just some, Joe Schmo. This guy did this for a living. It says that they identified him by the initials SM and he had been keeping radioactive substances at his home for a long time. Wow. Quote, he opened a decontamination service too. The service was a part of his livelihood, Esep said on Sunday, as quoted by Compass.com. Police found the radioactive isotope cesium-137 along with other radioactive substances in his home or in his house last week. This would have been in 2020. Esep said that the decayed nature of the substances indicated that they had been in the house for a long time. The gentleman is currently still only a witness in the investigation, but the police have said that he could be soon named as suspect and charged under a 1997 law on nuclear energy for illegally storing the radioactive materials at his house. If he's charged, it says, he faces a maximum punishment of 2 years imprisonment and an RP of $1 million or 1 million, which is $7,154 fine. For US dollars conversion. The Nuclear Energy Regulatory Agency, BAPTN, first detected the high levels of radiation in the Bapton-Unda complex during a routine check at the end of January. Between February 7th and February 8th, a joint BAPTN and National Nuclear Energy Agency team discovered several radioactive fragments in a vacant lot next to a volleyball court in the housing complex. The joint team later traced the radiation to the gentleman's house. Okay? Those are the barrels right there. That's them. Those are the ones. Yep, that's it. All right, so that's that. There's some more here, but I think it's only going to repeat the other story. They just mentioned that the joint team discovered, the regulatory agency discovered that the National Police were now involved, discovering the radioactive substance containing the cesium-137 and other isotopes. Now, don't forget what else was in there. What they said, uranium. So it's not just that. That's what they picked up. But there's other stuff as well. There are other things as well. So it's a little bit more than just blessing your food. It's knowing exactly where your food came from here in the United States. They said that as of that Friday, I'm reading another article, Banton had secured 400 drums of contaminated soil and vegetation from the area around the vacant lot as a part of its decontamination efforts. As reported by Antara, the agency recorded that the radiation exposure in the area had dropped significantly from 0.14 millisivert MSV. Those of you who are into the science of it all, you know what I'm saying. Share with the team. Tell everybody what it is. Per hour to 0.002 per hour. The International Committee on Radiological Protection recommends that people not be exposed to more than 20 MSV per year. And the police are still looking for those responsible for dumping the radioactive fragment in the vacant lot. But they just said they knew who it was. It was the cat, the dude, the one, the only, Mr. SM. That's who did it. SM. It was him. So now I want you guys to see what it looks like. I lost it, but I'm going to pull it back up because it looks like and this was some years ago. It looks like a very good source of protein and other things was going to be eating shrimp. Let me make sure that this is the right one. It's from the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization stated that, farming shrimp can restore our coastlines and create jobs. I want you to go ahead and look at this. I'm not going to play it because I don't know how much of their stuff is copywritten. So we're just going to glance through we're going to glance through what the WEF said. What the WEF? Let's see. Okay, so it does have some it has these, what are these things called? The captions. Okay. Can you see that? I hope so. Yeah, you can see that just fine. This is Indonesia and other areas. Do you guys want me to pull it back? Because I know you're reading it. Do you want me to pull it back and slow it down so you can read it all the way to see what the WEF suggests with the uplink company that we're looking at this from? Let's do that. Let's do that. Yes, thank you so much, Daryl. I sure enough appreciate you, brother. Okay, let's go. We're also going to give it the old heave ho so you guys can make it a little slower. We're going to slow it down so you guys could read it because I can't stand when that happens. All right. This is how farming shrimp can restore our coastlines and create jobs, it says. And I slowed it up so you can see it. I'm going to give you a little. I'm gonna give y'all a little music, a little background music. I'm gonna set the tone. Let me give you some music. Wow, wow. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want that. We should note that those are the farmers, all in there with the shrimp. In Indonesia, shrimp aquaculture has damaged or degraded around 70% of its coastal areas, weakening the protection against the floods, erosion, and climate change. Boy, Selva Shrimp Model aims to protect 150,000 hectares of mangroves while making local communities more financially secure and climate resilient. Got to have the climate change. Farming seafood is key to feeding the world's growing population, but it must be done sustainably. Restorative aquaculture is a nature-based solution, such as coastal pollution, habitat degradation, and overfishing and climate impacts. So they want it to be in the farming area. They don't want it to necessarily be out there in that wild water. To scale up nature-based solutions are one of 4 key topics. The second uplink. This is the company uplink here over on the left. Yeah, protect the ocean. Do farms. Protect the ocean. Get the hatcheries. Get a farm full of shrimp, full of fish and other stuff. Full of a whole bunch of things. Wow. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me. I just wanted to bring you guys that because I thought to myself, wait a minute, I do remember there being some type of leak. If I'm not mistaken, there was a leak. And we now know how it got here. We now know what company helped to facilitate that. And we also know that our great president has given these folks tariffs and didn't think twice about the trash that they was going to be peddling through here. Everybody knew about this. Let's not be coy. Everybody and their mama knew, okay, that area had that. And if that's the true story, I don't know whether it is or isn't. All I know is that's what Indonesia published. And all I know is I remember them having something up with radiation and in those areas. That's all I remember. That's the only way that I was able to go back. And now, when I found out that the province was the exact same province that this stuff right down the street, the same area, oh please, it was a done data. I had to make sure I let y'all know. Had to make sure I let you know. And there's some other stuff that I want to let you guys know too. So make sure. Yes, it is Robert Smith. Of course it is. You know why? Let me tell you guys. Let me see. While you brought that up, Robert, I hope y'all don't mind because we only been here for a little bit. And I hope you don't mind. Just indulge me another second because I remember them talking about some fallout from vehicles. Do you guys remember that? I know y'all remember that. I know you remember hearing about the vehicles having fallout about that, having all of the radiation in the cars. Yeah, from Fukushima. Yep, from the disaster. Let me see if this is going to be something that I could use. Let me see if it's anything from that's a Creative Commons. Okay, well, it looks like it is, and it's 13 years ago. But we just got through seeing that this particular isotope has the half of the life is 30 years. All right. I don't want to, goodness gracious. Is anybody talking? Let me see if they are. We can just put this up here because I can't use it with their music. See, it may be Creative Commons for me to use the item, but if there is music, that's not Creative Commons. So we can just slow it way down so we can read this together. And it's important for us to understand this stuff. None of this stuff is in a vacuum, and none of it happens by accident, I don't think. Do you guys think that these are accidents, like what we're dealing with right now? I don't know. So it says radioactive cars, Tokyo hotspots, Chinese, Taishan, EPR unit, Russian, join in the NEA old bird shutdown. I don't know what that is. Is that coming out of that area? Robert, what I've just read? Let's go back and see. Hold on, you guys. You don't see it on the screen yet, but I need to find it because I want to see Fukushima. Yeah, there it is. The big invisible elephant in the room, nuclear hot seat. I know I'm not going to use nobody else's work from 11 years ago. Charlie probably would have had a fit on me, but it shows that it's Creative Commons. Yeah, it does. And all of my stuff is now because I feel like, hey, the stuff that I'm doing, we're not getting a lot of traction. You and I, we know about it, but these things aren't going out to everybody. So I just started making all of my stuff Creative Commons. As long as you make sure you let people know that it came from me, I'm good with it. But I feel like some of the research that I do too deep, too deep a study. And sometimes I just bring it to you guys very relaxing. But for the most part, I do a lot of work and it doesn't get any traction here. So I feel like make it Creative Commons so that others can still get the word out. Whatever that would be, whatever the topic is, get the word out because that's the most important thing. For me, anyway. All right, let's see. What does this have music? Yeah, it sure does. And I'm not going to put it up, but I will let us see what it says. Hold on, you guys. Let me let you see that. Yeah, to me, that's the most important thing is to just get the word out. Let me see what you're saying over here, Joy. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to come to you, Joy. Don't worry. Hold on, babe. All right. We're not going to play the music, you guys, for obvious reasons. But we got our little background bounce, chicka, wow, wow, chicka, 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 music in the background. So let's go. Okay. Nuclear radiation headlines, it says. This is 9/17/2012. To lead 1,000 anti-nuclear pro-renewable energy. Let me go ahead and hit the timing because I got it on so slow. It's not moving at all. Lord of mercy. Okay, put it up to normal and let's just go. Okay, can you guys see that? I hope so. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, human rights defender Congressman Dennis Kulchbuck leads 1,000 anti-nuclear pro whatever. Yeah, we got to stop it, y'all. We got to stop it. Okay. It says human rights defender Congressman Dennis Kucinich to lead 1,000 anti-nuclear pro-renewable energy occupiers in DC this weekend. And there's the credit. It says the original article was attributed to the statement. The briefing will give legislators information that they need about the ongoing situation in Japan and the problems with the continued use of nuclear power in the United States, radiation. And it's a deadly legacy, and nuclear power is dirty, dangerous, and expensive, and unnecessary when we can turn to clean, safe, cheap solar, wind, and blase skippy doodah. I don't agree with you there, Mr. Kulchenbach. Nonetheless, I don't think we need all of this stuff to get us to where Robert was going. We already know Robert could probably come up here with me and tell you guys about this. But you all remember that there was a whole bunch of cars that had radiation from that fallout. Oh gosh, you guys, do you remember also what they were saying about the wild animals and the weird looking animals? Do you guys remember that? The weird looking animals from Chernobyl. Do you guys remember that? Or am I the only one? Let me see what you were saying, Joy, because I promised that I would look at it. Hold on, babe. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see. Headlines of The Voice. Governor in Tennessee is going to allow Elon to build tunnels under Nashville for free for data centers. Check that out. I'm already working on it, Mamacita. Let me give you a little bit of tip too. You already know that he has those big places there already, and they're humming like a son of a gun. Those things are making so much they're making a lot of problems for what's going on over there. All that data and all that stuff that he's got happening out there. Yeah, but don't you think that's a bit strange? I don't like that, because when you think about it, Tennessee had me clapping for them, Joy. Let me tell you guys why Tennessee had me clapping. Because when I look out my Alabama window, where I live here in the Tennessee Valley of Alabama, I always see stuff stretched across the sky. Stuff like white lines going through my mind. All over the place. It's all over the sky. All over the sky. Back and forth, up and down, all over the place. Circles, all kinds of things. And then they come and they clear out their airspace and say, nothing that don't belong here is going to be here. Nothing. Nathan that does not belong here is going to be in our skies. And if you come over here putting something in our sky, you in trouble. Let me see. What were you saying? Tonette was saying, there was a day I thought Fukushima was our largest challenge. What did I know back then? Far too much to keep track of these days. Yeah. I agree. I really do. It's just too much sometimes. It's a lot of stuff. And that's half the problem. People don't even remember yesterday. Come on now. Come on, 10 Tigers. That's the reason why I'm here for you, baby. What does it say? Sarah says, West Alabama is almost constantly. Yes, it is. Almost always. Yep. You met somebody, Joy, who fled Nashville because she said it's nuts there now. You know what? I met a lady who was my driver, my Lyft driver last week, and she said the same thing. She came into Huntsville not long ago, and she said she absolutely likes it better here than there, and that they were getting a little too far out. Now, she did mention also that she used to work for Google, but she didn't say if she worked for them there. I should have probed a little. I didn't want to be so nosy, but I allowed her to share what she was going to share. You know what I mean? But yeah, I heard that they're sort of cuckoo too. I did. Janie Smith says Cali still has them. Do they have a lot of them though, Jamie? Do they have a lot of it? Tonette said, I remember. I've got a good rememory. Girl, I'm with you, because half the time I be up here long pausing. I be long pausing, like people be like, is she there? You know what, girl? Let me tell you. When your husband, I believe that's who it was. Yes, that was your husband. He came in here and he told us, girl. And he also said that you were recuperating very well and that you got you a job, girl. When I tell you, honey, that I was interceding for y'all, and as soon as I got me a few little, you know what, so I just said, let me just go ahead on. When I saw that part, I was like, oh, well, we got to try to do something. If it ain't nothing but a gallon or two of gas, we got to do something. We got to help each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so proud of you. I'm glad to see that you're recuperating well and that everything is going good for you. I'm so happy. I am so happy. I really am. Let's see. Daryl says, good thing we're far away from Nashville. I know that's right. Don't laugh, but they can control your mood with frequencies. They did it in Iraq. You know what? You're right. They can do a lot of stuff, but we know we are covered, right? We already know we are absolutely covered. We're not tripping with these entities. We just not tripping. We know we covered. Hallelujah. That's right. We are covered, Joy. We ain't got nothing to worry about, not Nathan. We not worried about none of this stuff. And you know, the only reason why we really talk about it anymore, Robert, I wanted you to tell me something. Okay, I'm gonna put you right there so I don't forget to ask you. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's like every time you turn around, it's something more. But that's the reason why I'm glad that I try to be the dot connector and connect the dots on stuff, because it is pretty alarming to see that none of those news companies mention at all what happened in 2020 in that region. And so that means, let me tell you what that means to me. And I probably should have done the research to figure this out too. But what that means to me is that there's a lot of other food and items that we are getting from that area. You feel me? I got chicken hearts for $1.19 a pound today. Get out of here, 10 Tigers. $1.19 a pound. Usually things like the gizzards and things like hearts that people use. Sometimes, listen, folks, sometimes people will use something, okay, let me get you over here too. Sometimes people will use things like hearts or gizzards or stuff like that, boiled bones and things like that. You know, beef bones, bone broth is what that is. And then sometimes people use what are they called? Oh, what are those called? When you have heart, liver, the organ meats. Sometimes people use organ meats to strengthen certain parts of the body as well. So I don't got a heaven or hell to put nobody in, and I don't have a dog in that hunt, but I will tell you that I do know that bone broth works. And I do know that there are some significant, I've seen it myself, some significance of using things like, you know, organ meats, because they do help. Yes, ma'am. Ghibli gravy all day, Sarah, all day. Okay. You got to go put the laundry in the dryer. Okay. You can come on back. We'll be back. You guys want to hang out a little bit? Do you guys want to hang out, or you guys got to go someplace? If you want to hang out a little bit more, we can pull up a couple of more stories that I think would be pretty interesting. Gizzards were $1.49. So I got hearts, less cleaning. Yes. Because you got that. Yes, you do. Got to go do chores while still light. Yes. Get it done, Sarah. Get it done. Because if you're like a lot of people, you know, sometimes, for example, he said he was going to go do the laundry and put the laundry in another area. Sometimes people have to put good Tonette. Sometimes sometimes people's laundry area is not necessarily in a well-lit area. You can do your laundry in the day, but if it gets too dark, you're not able to go down there and put stuff in the dryer. So I totally get that. I totally get, you know, real life, you know, just real life stuff. I sort of want to share this with you guys, but I don't know if we should talk about it today or tomorrow. And here's why. Because it's dealing with AI, but it's very troubling. And I sort of want to do it separate. Let's see what else we can chat about. But I know for a fact I've got that. And then I've got a few other things that are sort of on the back burner. Let me see what else I have that I might be able to share with you. Okay, let me see. What else do we have? Oh, maybe I should. No, I don't want to do that, because then you guys are going to be like, that could have been a second story. Could have been a separate situation altogether. Okay. All right. I do have a question, and I did a lot of digging about this. Maybe too vague. No, I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to sit on this story because I have a feeling that what I'm looking for is going to come about. And it's dealing with the ICE and all of the, arresting all these individuals. Has anybody seen anything big happen? Oh, I know what happened that's big. Let me take you there. let's give us a quick little, and I'll edit our thumbnail, not our thumbnail, but I'll edit our title to say "and more," and then put in parens exactly what it is. Let me first of all get it out of my bookmarks, because this, oh man, I was like, what? They better do their thing. Let me see where I can find it. Is it still? Of course it's here. It's in my bookmarks, but I don't know how to space out my bookmarks and change the view so that they're not necessarily like all up on top of each other. Is this it? All right, so we got two stories. I'm gonna let you see that one, and let me get the other one because I had two of them. So I'm just going to read these directly from the government website, because I feel like you can't say it any better. You know, they wrote it. It's their information. May as well hear it out of the horse's mouth. All right, so let's see. All right, let's do this one. Is this it? All right. All right, we'll just get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay. So this is a follow-up for the story that we did dealing with the CDL driver's license and all of that stuff. They made an announcement. So Trump's transportation secretary announces an investigation into the deadly Florida truck crash and shares the preliminary findings. La, 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 la. But there's another story that goes along with this. Okay, let me read this one. This ain't it. Let me go to the newsroom, baby. Let me go to the newsroom, because what they did is they said, okay, that's it. We're going to stop the presses on giving out these license about the DOT. Meet the secretary, accomplishments, leadership newsroom for the DOT. Is it the same newsroom as this one? Yeah, it is, because it's the DOT. No, Felicia, where is it? Anyway, let me just go ahead and tell it to you. Let me just let you know what it is. What they said is, what have happened is, one of the people who work for Trump under the U.S. Department of Transportation, what is his name? He said that what press releases, press offices, what he said was they were going to stop passing out the visa stuff. I read that to my son last night, and he was like, yes, I don't know how happy I am. I'm elated. Press releases. Is this it? This is not it, child. I don't remember where I was. I don't remember half of it. Duffy, FAA, celebrate. Anyway, let's just go ahead and read this, and maybe it'll be there. Yuck. Okay, the transportary. Listen to this guy's name. See if it sounds like anybody you've heard of in the past. U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Sean P. Duffy. Let that sink in for a second. Announced that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has launched an investigation into the recent deadly Florida highway crash. The investigation will focus on the driver involved in the crash and the motor carrier White Hawk carriers and the preliminary results of the investigation. And they have found when they interviewed the driver that didn't speak English. Okay, we said that part, but there's another piece. I'm going to find this piece. Hold on, let me look it up. Let me give you a Judge Joe Brown commercial. Y'all know y'all like that commercial. Don't be acting soft. Don't be acting like you don't like it. I need to find it so I can tell you guys this, because this to me is like juicy gossip. All right, hold on, I'm gonna look. Okay, I'll be back. Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will. All righty. Ding, 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 ding. This, I want somebody to go ahead and do the hi-hats. That'll be the like the news brief music. Ding, 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 ding. I found it. U.S. halts worker visas for commercial truck driver, Rubio says, dated August 21st, 2025. In Washington, the United States is immediately pausing the issuance of all worker visas for commercial truck drivers. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Thursday, quote, the increasing number of foreign drivers operating large tractor-trailer trucks on U.S. roads is endangering American lives and undercutting the livelihoods of American truck drivers. This is what Rubio said on X. The administration of President Donald Trump has taken a series of steps to address the concerns about foreign truck drivers who don't speak English. Trump in April signed an executive order directing the enforcement of a rule requiring commercial driver's license in the United States to meet the English proficiency standards. Earlier this week, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, what we were just looking at, said the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has launched an investigation into that crash in Florida, the highway situation that killed 3 people, of which I've got a timer set or a search set to find out the name of those poor people, but I haven't found anything. I've been getting this message every day saying nothing found, nothing found, nothing found. So the most that I'll probably do is end up having to do a FOIA request to get the names of those individuals. It's important because I want to make sure, just something in the back of my mind, that's all. All right. Investigation into a Florida highway incident that killed 3. The crash involved a driver who was an Indian national who did not speak English or have legal authorization to be in the United States, according to Florida and U.S. officials. Harjinder Singh has been charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide, and police said he attempted to make an illegal U-turn at an official use only area. It was an access point, and he blocked traffic and caused the fatal crash that resulted in the deaths of 3 people in a minivan that struck the truck. Florida officials took him into custody in California. So he hightailed it, I guess, back home where he lives here in the United States. But then he went back to California to return. They went and got him from California and returned him to the state to face charges. Now, don't you know that man could have easily left the country? A lawyer for Singh could not immediately be identified. While the English proficiency standard for truckers was already longstanding with the United States law, Trump's executive order in April reversed a 2016 guidance that inspectors not place commercial drivers out of service if their only violation was a lack of English. 2016. Duffy has said that failing to adequately enforce driver qualification standards poses serious safety concerns and increases the likelihood of crashes. The FMCSA said in 2023 that about 16% of the U.S. drivers were born outside of the United States. Last month, Reuters reported that Mexican truck drivers in the border city of Ciudad Juarez have begun studying English in efforts to comply with the Trump order. Wow. I don't care how much you study. Y'all need to go on somewhere because, as that man said the other day, the gentleman who became an American citizen, who took his time and followed the law, we can't deny him. He was adamant that what you were looking at when you saw those trucks were individuals who were not supposed to be here. He made mention of the fact that people were coming as truck drivers from Mexico, for example, and those individuals came, and as they came here, they would sit here for 6 months. According to the gentleman, he stated that those people were supposed to come in, drop their delivery, and then go back. But they were here for 6 months. And as I stated the day that we watched that, it's evident that those folks, there must be more of those people, because he was just one man with a cell phone, just taking a look in the parking lot, and he discovered several of them. So can you imagine how many that means it really is? Wow, that's a mess. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Deborah says, I moved to Texas. The movers didn't speak English. I found boxes marked garage in the master closet, kids' closet, in my dining room, etc. It was a nightmare. Oh, I can only imagine, because you had to go through all those boxes and then move them all around. You know what I mean? Move them all around. That's a mess. Well, you guys, did you get some? Somebody said, does he take EBT? You know what? I don't know, Joy. I don't even know. It would be good as he did, right? But maybe when you order it through Amazon, Whole Foods, you can probably use it that way by keying in that number. If they have that, you know what I mean? If they accept it, Whole Foods might accept it, because you can get it from Amazon. So you never know. You never know. And you know what? You never know if you don't ask. And Sarah says, help. Where is it? Sarah, I'm not playing with you today. Sarah says, help. We've been kidnapped. Everybody do us a big favor. I didn't see you there. Hi. Are you sick of it? I'm going to offer a suggestion. Maybe a future broadcast. The Emancipation Proclamation allowed for the enslavement of prisoners. Who are the majority of prisoners in this country? Let's talk. Oh, those heated conversations. And you know what? It's not us. It's none of us. You know what I'm saying? It's none of us. It's the stuff that's going on. What I hate to see are people being moved by the stage that's being set. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. And right now, it's everybody. You know, I don't know if that lawyer, I'm going to send him a message in his box, but there's a lawyer who covers a lot of things that are going on right now, a civil rights attorney. I'm going to send him a message, because I want to go on ahead and use about 3 of his different stories. I want to show how people across the board are being treated so badly. Are you sick of it? He has a lot of information and a lot of stories where just regular people, everyday folks, are being hurt by some of these people that are putting people in jail, holding them against their will when they've not done anything, or, you know, framing them or shaping their messed up police stop around a law that they stretch. Let me see if this guy is Creative Commons. Hold on just a second. I'm going to see, because if he is, we could talk about this. It's Friday. There he is. Let's see. Is this stuff Creative Commons? Oh, no. I wish it was. Okay, but I mean, you're a civil rights attorney. You already know I got the right to use your stuff, man. You already know I got the right to use your stuff, homeboy. I already know. Let's go on ahead and just play a piece of it. And the reason why is because I think he's very fair in all of the stuff that he covers. He shows white, black, purple, yellow, green getting harmed. And then he also shows white, black, purple, yellow, green doing the harming. And I like that, because he's fair and he's balanced. I don't see a short one. Is this one? A man gets punched in the face repeatedly during a welfare check. Hey, somebody told us we needed to come and check on you. You all right? Poof, poof, bam. That's exactly what happened. And then there's another guy. This guy was horrible. Should I show this one? No, I think I'm going to give him a courtesy and ask him if I can use his stuff. Because if I do that, I'm going to show you the channel, and I am going to tell you guys to please go check this guy out. Please check him out. He does some good, balanced stuff. This right here was a very amazing story. This right here was amazing. Let me see if we can just do his beginning. Use 7 seconds of it. I have to stay within the laws of civil rights 30. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me pull it back and let's go.
In Texas, one is 100% blind and the other is a paraplegic. Cops pull them over and order them out of the car.
Step out for me, sir.
I do not consent to a search. This is unlawful.
All right, I need you to get out of the car, sir.
I do not have a fucking wheelchair. You idiot. My legs do not work.
One can't see and one can't walk. So what did the cops do?
Okay, well then we're gonna search the car with you sitting in it.
That's illegal, sir.
So no, it's not, sir. Odor of marijuana is a probable cause for a search.
You can't search a vehicle with somebody in it.
Okay, then you're going to have to get the out of the car, dude.
Then
Then get out of the car. I'm asking you to get out of the car,
He
sir.
cannot. He doesn't have a wheelchair, sir. He cannot. Please, sir.
Okay, so let me tell you the backdrop. The guy's wife is the one saying he doesn't have a wheelchair. Sir, he doesn't have a wheelchair. The police are so adamant that while they were illegally talking to her on the other side, and it wasn't illegally, it's a tactic that they used, and that is that they go to the other side of the car while the other officer is talking to somebody else, and they'll tap the window, and he started making short talk about her dog to say that he smelled marijuana. Now, they repeatedly told them that the man in the front seat was blind and that the driver was a paraplegic. But because they had to put some items in the vehicle, they left his wheelchair, knowing that when they get to the house, his wife can help him with the wheelchair, get out of the car and into the house. So it's of no consequence that this poor guy's wheelchair was not there. But instead of them believing the man, they persisted. And this is the reason why I like this guy, because he covers the gambit. I mean, if it's violating somebody's rights, this guy is on it. Please go check him out. The name of the channel is The Civil Rights Attorney. Not knowing if you guys are already following, please watch. But now let's listen to the rest of this. Do you guys mind watching this one? Let's go.
He doesn't. He cannot walk. He cannot walk. Please.
Okay, do not crawl out into
You did this. Y'all told me to get out of the vehicle. I told y'all I did not have my wheelchair. I have no use of my legs.
Well, if you're going to crawl yourself over that way, sir.
There's an insane amount of information out there on the internet about most people. Why? Because unless you've done something to prevent it, your private data is being used by insurance company. You just sign up for incogni.com/
How old are you? 18. Good job. You're going to jail.
For Incogni. Basically, you just set it and forget it. Scandalous videos from police interactions across the country, some of which have been submitted to me, some of which I've just found, and some of which have been my own cases after a career of filing these sorts of lawsuits. This comes to us from DeKalb, Texas, and involves apparently a terrible small town Texas police department, and also these two best friends. One that is completely blind, and the other that is completely paralyzed.
Ranch hand on your boat or ranch hand, yeah. Good call, good call. It's a Havoc ranch hand.
Together, they make these TikTok videos. The one where they work together to load the four-wheeler into the back of the truck. I just about lost it.
Take off. Now left. Hey, not hard left, just yeah. All right, now you're on the driveway. I'm gonna catch up. Back right there, yeah. Go on, give her a little goose, yeah, I'm rolling with a wheelchair, baby.
And for those of you who do have a TikTok channel, please go and subscribe to Brave and Blind. They do a lot of philanthropic work, and they really do good work. The police that pulled this guy over that night apparently didn't know it. But I want to tell you that if you guys go and check that out, you will really honestly enjoy it. You really, really will. You'll enjoy their work. They're a fun group of guys or set of guys.
All right, be right. 20 yards in closing. Left. All right, back hard right. Right there, hold it right there. We got to put the ramp down. He's blind, by the way. Kind of veer left just a tad. Yeah, right there. Walk on up in there. Back right. Whoa, stop. Ah!
And they apparently do some really great work where they bring awareness about people with their disabilities and also help others, taking them hunting and fishing. So the script almost writes itself here. This small town, terrible police department ends up pulling over these two best friends, the paralyzed guy and the blind guy, over a license plate light. So from the beginning, it was a fishing expedition. This is where it begins, with the officers walking up to this Cadillac with these two best friends inside, and also an adorable dog that will actually play a central role in what is to happen.
Do you know your number by chance? No? Okay, I'll get you the information.
Okay, there's no talking there. And while they're not talking, they're just doing their thing or whatever. You're going to see him tap on the window and start talking to her. But for those of you guys who've already gone over to his channel, please thank him for his work. And please let him know that I sent you, because I'm going to have to be sort of ass backwards here and ask him for permission or let him know that I did it. But if you guys don't mind, please add to his subscribers over there and go over there. It is the Civil Rights Attorney. And he's a really cool cat out of Virginia. So please go over there, subscribe, and let him know that I sent you. Okay, so let's go.
To the driver on the other side of the car. Officer number 2 goes around to the rear passenger side of the vehicle.
Thank
where
you,
this
Daryl.
woman has this adorable dog, and he taps on the window and he pretends to be interested in the dog and want to talk about the dog and pet the dog, but it's all a ruse. He's trying to fabricate probable cause to search this car. Again, this is a fishing expedition. They don't need an officer on each side of this vehicle just out of concern for a broken tag light. They think they're on some big interdiction mission based on nothing but a hunch. So they have to create something. Many times it's as easy as just lying about the smell of marijuana. The smell of marijuana in Texas. Texas is in the Fifth Circuit. Police officers there have basically been given broad latitude to pull people out of their cars, to search their cars, to search their persons based on the alleged smell of marijuana. The Fifth Circuit has long held that if officers smell marijuana coming from inside the vehicle, they have probable cause to then search the vehicle, including any bags or containers inside the vehicle. But what if, like here, the officers say they smelled marijuana, then they end up searching the car and they find no marijuana? That's an illegal search, right? Unfortunately, not in Texas. So even where officers find no marijuana after searching the vehicle, the search is still lawful according to the Fifth Circuit. But that's what this lying cop is doing here, pretending to be interested, but he's about to show his true colors and announce that he smells marijuana, and he asks for consent to search the vehicle. Now, they do this because even if they're lying or bluffing and they get consent, it doesn't even matter anymore because you just allegedly consented.
All right, so I want to interject and say this. It's amazing that after seeing this man's legs shake the way that his legs were shaking, that nobody used any common sense and said, hey, man, if we're just pulling him over for the tag, can we just go ahead and get a dude a ticket? I mean, they didn't even have to talk to their coworker in front of the man. They could have pulled him to the back of the vehicle and said, come here, let's talk about this, man. The woman is telling you he doesn't have his, his wheelchair. And you see the dude cannot hold his legs with any control. Why don't we just let him go, write the ticket? You know what I'm saying? Why don't we do that and let this cat go? And then if the dude had said no, I would have rolled out if it was me. I would have been like, cool, no problem. But I don't want ish to do with none of this. Let's listen to where this takes us.
I love dogs.
We've rescued him from a stop sign.
Really?
Outside of Arcadale Field.
Oh, wow.
His ears were clipped, and we think that they left and tied to the stop sign because they did a really shitty job on his ears.
Really?
And,
Poor guy.
You know what Hot Springs is?
I got 2 pits.
Do you?
Yeah. And I'm so happy their ears weren't clipped. They got floppy ear, big old floppy ears.
We have a few floppy ones. But I will say, with him being clipped, he's never had any ear issues.
Yeah.
Like, they're always super clean.
I have a male and a female. The male, he'll let you clean his. He'll let you clip his nails.
Now listen to how he's setting her up. All while he's talking to her, he's looking in the vehicle, right? All while he's talking to her. And this is a concerted effort to pull them over and to say they're doing something wrong. Yeah. He's actually schmoozing her. He's like the serpent and she could be Eve.
My female, I got to hold her down and sit on her.
Yeah.
She don't like it. She don't want it done. And I've actually had to take her to the groomers and have to put her in the little sling thing to clip her nails.
Yeah.
Because she ain't letting you do it. Now, she's not aggressive.
Yeah.
She just ain't going to allow it.
Don't do it. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame her.
So,
What was your name?
Jacob Jackson. J-A-C-O-B.
Is there not insurance in the thing, Jackie?
What's up, dude? Hey, can you send me pictures of the insurance on the Cadillac?
Where y'all headed?
Where are we going, Dallas? Avery.
Avery?
Yes.
See, another question. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Where do you live? Those questions are necessary. They're not pertinent to the stop. And if you're stopping him because of that tag light, you need to hurry up and give him his ticket. Because at this point, you're dragging this out, in my impression, far beyond the time that I think it should take.
Sir.
Damn right, jack shit neighbor.
Obviously, the other thing he's doing is he's asking her questions, which many people might see as just small talk and have this compulsion to answer these questions, but which are really being asked is part of an investigation to make some sort of criminal case against you or to form the basis to search you or arrest you, or the basis to detain you for an extended period of time, to extend the fishing expedition. Are police officers allowed to do that? Yeah, basically, but you also don't have to answer. At a traffic stop, there is no general requirement to answer police questions beyond basic identification and related documentation questions. Officers are allowed to ask you completely unrelated questions during the stop, such as where are you going? Do you have any weapons in the car? Etc., etc. What they are not allowed to do is prolong the stop without some additional reasonable suspicion of some other crime, which is the reason they're asking the questions. You have the right to remain silent and not answer these questions. But the courts have said the best thing to do is to verbalize that choice. The problem is, though, as soon as you do that, then comes the retaliation. Likewise, here, when the officer isn't getting anywhere with his dumb questions, he goes right to his I smell marijuana lie.
12, 16.
Is there any marijuana in here?
No, sir.
Okay, because I'm smelling marijuana. Are we sure ain't nobody got none on it?
Yeah, no. I don't have any.
No,
Jacob
sir.
don't have
No,
any.
sir.
Dallas
Okay.
don't have any.
Okay, I'm smelling some. Are we?
Blue Eyes comes in, kicking the door. Look what Blue Eyes say, y'all. Okay, so far with this video, what does it have to do with shrimp? We already did the shrimp, and we said we were going to change the title because it's a Friday night and we ain't got nowhere to go. And so after we were done doing that 1 hour presentation, we decided to take the rest of the time that we had together and just look at some other topics, Blue Eyes. But yeah, we did. And I do allow on this channel for people to pull the tab all the way back to the beginning of the stream. A lot of creators, they don't do that. They just, make it to where you can't go back. A lot of people have to wait for it to end and then pull it back. No, not with us. You can go all the way back to the beginning and then you'll see exactly what we were talking about, Blue Eyes. And I'm telling you, man, it is something else. It is too much. If you just check it out, you'll agree with us. You'll see what we're talking about. But no, you too funny. You're too funny. But I'm glad to see you here, Precious. I am so happy to see you here. Okay, so yeah, that's open for you, Blue Eyes, and anybody else who may be coming in wondering, hey, what the shrimp? Where is the shrimp? All you have to do is pull the toggle all the way back. We're going to edit this later, so we're going to change the name. We're going to talk about the toxic shrimp, and then we're going to change it to something else. So let's just go on ahead and go forward. Hold on just a moment.
We're 100% sure.
Yes, sir. You can go in the window.
We all consent to a search?
No, sir.
Okay.
I don't have my wheelchair with me.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. The odor of marijuana is probable cause for a search, so I'm going to ask y'all to step out, okay?
I'm not stepping out.
Yes, sir. You are going to step out of that vehicle. Okay.
Realizing I don't have his wheelchair.
All right. Step out, man.
Hey, mate.
Blue Eyes.
My blind came.
All right. Step out. Okay. Well, we're not going. I'll help him out.
Well, get your sergeant down here, please, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Babe, start recording this. No, sir. You're not taking nobody out of this vehicle.
Step
sir.
out for me, sir.
I do not consent to a search. This is unlawful.
Now, in case you were wondering why these two best friends seem like they are so distrustful of these members of the DeKalb Police Department, here's one good reason. The blind man who was sitting in the front passenger seat, His name is Dallas Bruce. And the reason that he is blind is because 2017, he ends up getting shot in the face with a shotgun. And it was the DeKalb Police Department who waited like 3 hours before allowing this poor guy any medical treatment, and then thereafter refused to investigate it as a crime.
When I got shot, DCAB's the same police department that let me sit in the house for 3 hours shot and didn't render aid. Somebody actually had the captain wouldn't let an officer come in there, so they let me sit in there for hours. So I already am uncomfortable with DCAD and don't trust. I've always trusted cops, but after that with DCAD, and I went back to try to have it investigated, and they basically told me I watched too much TV. And
with what?
Keep in mind, he's blind, you guys.
Okay. No, sir. No, sir.
Step out, sir.
What did I do?
You do what you want to do. He's not breaking my constitutional rights.
Well, what about me not having my blind cane?
He's 100% blind.
You can't see?
100% paralyzed.
Y'all know who I am.
Okay, I don't know who you are, sir. I'm not gonna let you walk into traffic. I'm gonna help you out. I'm not going.
Well, all I know is
Bless that baby's heart. Lord, help him. Bless his heart. Look at this child. Look what he just had to do. Bless his heart, Father. This baby had to pull out his prosthetics to show these people, I can't see. He just asked them, what about the fact that I don't have my blind cane? Oh, God, help us.
who I am.
Okay, I don't know who you are, sir. I'm not gonna let you walk into traffic. I'm gonna help you out. I'm not going.
Well, all I know is are you recording?
I am recording it.
All I know is I've been dirty by y'all before, so I really don't trust y'all, honestly.
Okay, well, I haven't done. I've never even met you before, so.
Please, sir.
Who is the sergeant?
So we don't have a sergeant.
Where's Chris Atchison?
He is the chief of police, and he is not here.
Well,
I need you to step out of the vehicle, sir. Okay, just turn around. I'm gonna pat you down real quick. I'm not gonna let you walk into traffic or nothing like that.
This is ridiculous. What's your badge number, brother?
I'm checking your pocket,
What's
sir.
your badge number, brother? Excuse me, sir. I'm asking you to identify yourself.
All right, walk over here with me, sir.
What's your badge number?
Okay, walk over here with me, sir.
806.
All
Hey,
right,
brother.
walk him over there. Walk him over there. You're just gonna lean against our vehicle, okay?
So Officer Will Rhodes of the DeKalb Police Department has first taken the 100% blind man out of the car on the side of what appears to be a busy highway on an all-important tag light stop. Now he's going to walk to the other side of the car and order the paralyzed guy to get out of the car. The issue here is not whether or not a police officer can order the occupant of a car out of the car during a traffic stop. The issue is what happens when that occupant is 100% blind or a paraplegic and cannot physically get out of the car. Now, the paraplegic guy, his name is Jacob Jackson, and usually when he drives somewhere, he has a wheelchair with him that he can get into if he needs to get out of the car. On this particular occasion, he did not have it because there was no room in the car, as you'll hear him explain. So when faced with this situation, Officer Will Rhodes just orders the guy to get out of the vehicle. And just like the last paraplegic video that I did, which I think is over 6 million views at this point, the result was completely predictable.
All right, I need you to get out of the car, sir.
I do not have a fucking wheelchair. You idiot. My legs do not work. I know. You finna lose your job, buddy. What's your badge number?
You can hurry him, please.
What's your badge number?
He's paralyzed. I can prove, sir. He does not have.
What is your badge number? I've done asked you that 3 times to identify yourself, and you have not. You are a tyrant. What is your badge number?
Okay, I'm asking you to get out of the car,
He
sir.
cannot. He doesn't have a wheelchair, sir. He cannot. Please, sir. He doesn't. He cannot walk. He cannot walk.
Oh, I can't watch no more, y'all. That is just heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. That's terrible. I got to speed it up a little bit. I got to move it up a little bit.
I have no use of my legs. Yes, sir. I'm sitting on the ground. Dallas, you recording? He gets 1.4 million views on TikTok, just so you know. Might want to say your name for that.
Yeah, where are we, DCAB?
Yeah, we're in DeKalb, brother, in Texas, over a tag light being out. The officer that made the stop didn't even smell anything. I have no idea what he is. Yeah, he will not identify himself. Made me get out of the vehicle and won't tell me anything. Trying to make me crawl to the back of the car.
Okay, I'm gonna get this young lady out. Just watch him for me, please. Do you have a leash for the dog, ma'am?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to get out, ma'am.
Jacob, what am I supposed to do?
They do not do anything. They need to get the jacket.
I need you to get out of the car, ma'am.
Can I find a leash? Can I do something for my dog? So
Yeah, I don't want him to run.
Hey, y'all captain of police is still Chris Atkins?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I do. My shit's messed up. And you have not done anything you're supposed to do as a police officer.
Was a Fourth Amendment violation. Here's what the court said. The court is popped up around the whole country. One federal case, or what if he claims to have paraplegia, involved the officers ordering the occupants out of the vehicle to order occupants of a vehicle out of the vehicle. The Supreme Court case, Pennsylvania versus Mims, says that police officers can order them out for officer safety reasons and just conduct the traffic stop with the occupants outside of the vehicle. Likewise, if there's probable cause to search the vehicle because of the alleged smell of marijuana, that would involve the officers ordering the occupants out of the vehicle for a temporary amount of time. Much of practicing law is learning how to search for case law. Here, being presented with this issue, I don't think I'd seen it before. The issue of, well, what happens if the occupant of a vehicle has paraplegia? Or what if he claims to have paraplegia and the officer thinks he's lying? So I did a nationwide search, all the federal circuits, all of the state courts in all 50 states, just using the terms paraplegia, and I think I used Pennsylvania versus Mims. Only a couple, like 3 cases popped up around the whole country. One federal case popped up. Guess where it was from? The Fifth Circuit. Controlling case law in this jurisdiction. As it turns out, there was a Fifth Circuit case in 2007 called U.S. versus Meredith that involved this same issue. A driver was ordered out of a car during a traffic stop. He claimed paraplegia. The officer then opened the car door and performed a visual inspection with the driver remaining in the vehicle. Now, that driver wasn't dragged out of the car or anything like that. The issue was whether or not the police officer opening the car door and performing a visual search inside, whether or not that was a Fourth Amendment violation. Here's what the court said. The court extended Pennsylvania versus Mims, saying that police officers can order occupants out of a vehicle during a traffic stop, to where after ordering an occupant to exit a vehicle and hearing that he claims to be physically unable to do so, an officer may open the occupant's door and conduct a minimally necessary visual inspection, with the occupant still remaining in his seat. The court said that this was reasonable under the Fourth Amendment because it was less intrusive to Fourth Amendment rights than any other options available to the officer under those circumstances, which the court listed, such as the first option of ordering the handicapped occupant to crawl out of the car or to exit as best he can. Or secondly, detaining all of the occupants until a warrant could be obtained. Or the third option of detaining all of the occupants until a wheelchair could be obtained. To which the court then added a footnote. Footnote 21, here it is. The court wanted to elaborate on that third option. This third option then gives rise to more uncertainty. Namely, how will the occupant exit the vehicle? Will the officers be allowed physically to help or lift the occupant out of the vehicle, absent his consent? Or will they have to enlist the aid of a person to whom the occupant consents, despite simultaneously increasing their own exposure to danger and unduly prolonging the stop? So there, the Fifth Circuit was pointing out the absurdity, pointing out that even attempting to use that option would itself be all sorts of more serious Fourth Amendment violations and officer safety problems, and who knows what else. So why would a police officer even attempt that? The one case in the entire federal appellate system where this issue has come up, right there in Texas. And in that case, the court actually pointing out the absurdity of police officers doing something like actually occurs in this video.
How you drive if you're paralyzed?
What do you mean? The hand controls. The hand controls.
Where's the hand controls?
Do what?
Where are the hand controls?
There's a cruise control. There's a... I don't know. Oh, it's out there on the ground. Yeah, I got an Arkansas State driver's license.
I'm just curious.
No restrictions.
How do you get to and from the car without a wheelchair?
If you would have been listening when I was talking to your partner, I got in the chair and then we didn't have enough room for Dallas's stuff in the trunk plus his bags in the back seat. So she set my wheelchair out, which is why my wallet's not in the ride either.
After refusing to allow the paraplegic driver to catheterize himself, which he explained was a medical requirement given his condition, forcing him to urinate on himself, the officers then searched the vehicle, and they searched it thoroughly, finding no marijuana, of course. The only thing that they did find that they could charge him with was a tiny bottle of Evan Williams that still had some liquor in it.
Yeah, y'all can get back in the vehicle. Can you see?
Yeah, no, I can't see that. Now that my buddy needs help.
Hey, calm down.
I'm offering help.
That's like we manage, brother.
Corner of the car right here. Corner of the car right there.
I got it.
You got it?
You let go of
Okay.
it.
You need a hand?
We done?
Yeah.
Conveniently, we cannot see, that I could see on the body cam, where this was found. I looked at Texas law, and if it was found in the trunk, I don't believe that's illegal, at least hell, it should not be. But if it's in the passenger compartment of the vehicle, it looks like it is a violation under Texas law, an extremely minor violation. For that reason, Officer Kenny Foster issued this citation for the very serious charge of having an open container in a vehicle. George Washington had his own private still. Do you think he ever drove his carriage or his horse with an open container of rum or whiskey with him? Hell yes, he did. As I understand it, that charge is still pending, but now they have secured a lawyer. Also, as I understand it, these 2 officers are all that remains of the DeKalb Police Department. Just 2 officers, because everybody else is gone, including the chief of police, apparently. They apparently have a terrible reputation, even among law enforcement in that region of Texas. And gee, I wonder why. Yeah, this one was a complete outrage. I'll continue to follow it, and you can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can follow me on X at John Bryan ESQ. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.
Hopefully with all this, we get justice and crooked cops are taken care of, because we all respect the cops, but if you're a dirty cop, you need to go. And we're going to be all right. We just, it's not right being treated different and not being felt like you can trust cops. And, you know, that's how DCAT has made us feel and has made me feel for years, that you can't trust cops. And hopefully with what happened to us, it shines a light on dirty cops around here, and it gets cleaned up so people can start trusting cops again. And what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that's going to make handicapped people get out on the side of the road where you ain't got really no reason to have them out there and treat them ugly? Or are you going to be the kind of person that treats people with disabilities with compassion and love, like Jesus would want y'all to do? Just
Come
thank
on,
y'all for,
baby.
checking in on us, and just all the follows and comments, and you know, all that stuff's going to help us get our word out there and our mission. And some of y'all asked how me and Jacob met. He actually takes people with disabilities hunting, and that's how I met him. And now we take people with disabilities hunting, and we just enjoy, you know, God kept us here, so we're going to enjoy everything we got to do, and that we love doing, and we're not going to let our disabilities stop us.
He said, God kept us here, and we're going to do what we got to do. What a sweetie pie. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. So you guys can see we've changed the name of the program. All right. We've changed it, Blue Eyes. Are you happy, young lady? Are you happy now? Blue Eyes was like, yo, what's good? I don't see no shrimp. Nonetheless, I know that there's a lot of people who don't see any shrimp. But if you are able to toggle back, like I just shared with Blue Eyes, go ahead and toggle it back, and you can see it from the beginning. And that way you won't miss any of it. But we did decide that when we were over at 1 hour, we decided, hey, let's just add a little bit more. So for about the past 40 minutes, we've been dibbling and dabbling in this topic. So yeah, where's the beef? Robert said, where's the beef? My buzz is gone. The buzz in the ear or the buzz? Did we take your buzz away? What state are you in? Are you in California? What state are you in? Where are you? Donde? All right, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging around. Now that I've got the other thumbnail up, I'm editing that too. I'm gonna edit the one that's there. So we're gonna edit the edit. See what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna edit the edit. That's what we're doing. So we're talking about the Indonesian nuclear shrimp. Boy, I tell you what, when you go over there and you watch that, you're gonna be amazed at what we've connected here. Blue Eyes, you're gonna be amazed. And if you're not amazed, you'll probably be like, I'm not shocked. Nothing here surprises me anymore. It's a major crap show, because it is. All right, folks, I appreciate each and every one of you all for hanging out with us for the past almost hour and 40 minutes. I want to thank you guys, and I will be back tomorrow because I do have a really good story to bring you. It is very concerning, and it does deal with the war that's going on currently in Gaza and in Israel. And it's really, really, really important, because I don't think any of us knew the actual levity or the depths of how what I'm about to tell you guys tomorrow will be. And so to prevent us from having to go over the time and talk about something else, Miss Blue Eyes, I may just go on ahead and create it into a video, which I don't like. I like being with you guys and talking to you all and all of that stuff. I like seeing your reactions and finding out what you guys think about the topics, and then throwing other topics in there. I appreciate that. Now, we did get somebody, I think it was Ronnie. I know it was Ronnie who talked about us talking about the Anunnaki, and we did discuss the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is over there on the Lockhart Perspectives channel. You can check out the first portion of it. In the middle of it, you'll be able to see it. And I'm telling you where to go to look for it because it's 8 hours long. So I just got through recording the first portion of this is the second time I've done it, but the first time I've uploaded it, the Epic of Gilgamesh. So that'll be over there as well, because I don't think anybody would really watch it over here. I don't know if you guys will. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that, and then I'll put it over here too. I'll put up the original version that I did that I never uploaded so that you guys would have it here, and that way we can still keep the other one there. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys. You guys remember to take care of yourselves, because as you and I both know, nobody else is going to do it if you don't. And then when you've got the strength to help somebody else, won't you remember to turn around and help them too? Because that's the only way that we're all going to make it. Remember, please, above all, no matter what you see, no matter what divisiveness that's out there, no matter what would divide, continue to walk in love. I don't care about your background. I don't care about your ethnicity. I don't care about your religion. I don't care about any of that. You know why? Because love is something that we can all show. A smile goes a long way, and being kind and a smile goes even further. All right, you guys, y'all take care of yourselves. Go get you some sauce. Peace. Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping